strike shit.
Okay, so a couple years back, I had seen Klaus and Michaelson, The Great Evil. You feel me? On the channel, and before even on the channel, I had like saw it. You feel me? And then my reaction was lackluster. People in the comments said my reaction was lackluster. Now I don't know the correct way to react or whatever, but I do want to get more so into the deep dive of it all, like the deep psyche of each character that I'm reacting to. So if you want to stay at, for the aftermath review portion, that's what we're going to get more in depth on. You feel me? Because by this point, I've seen, you know what I mean? So, but we're going to still enjoy our time here. I ain't going to pause it. I ain't going to do nothing. We're just going to watch it straight through. Okay? Let's go.
Away what little humanity you had left before ego, before anger, before paranoia created in this person.
Type shot. Anyways, guys, let's get into the review portion of the video. That sounds so monotone and so like, let's click off. But anyways, let's get into it. We see Klaus Mikaelson, and let's get into his origins. You feel me? And how that contributed to who he is today. So, grew up in the village, you feel me? His father, his so-called pops, you feel me? Biological. It's not really biological father, but Michael, you feel me? Wealthy landowner, you feel me, in the East, you feel me? Village John. And Michael has all this, he's very overprotective of his family, but he also, in equal measure, wants them to just be exactly how he perceives them to be, if that makes sense. He has like all these kids, and they're all off doing crazy stuff, you know, of course, whatever. But as long as they are exactly who they are in his eyes, you feel me? If he can mold them into exactly the person he wants them to be, each one, then he's cool. And that translates, the medium that translates into, you feel me, is being very, I don't want to immediately jump to the word abusive, but very controlling. You feel me? Very controlling. And I feel like each of his children, whether they admit it or not, you feel me, whether the audience ever sees it or not on screen, which we do see it on screen, even with like, except, I mean, Fan was a mommy's boy, so, yeah. But anyways, Michael's controlling nature trickles down to people like Rebecca, to people like Klaus, to people like Elijah, to people like Cole, people like probably Henrik when he was alive and he was young, you know. To people like Freya, you know. Although she was taken away at a young age, that controlling factor, you know. That was his. That was, you know what I mean. That was his. You feel me? He was nicer with her, but it was like, you know. So Klaus acquires that inherent controlling nature. I said inherent. I'm dead, but he takes on that trait, you know, consciously or subconsciously, whatever. He takes that on. Years later, he finds out about the cheating and the infidelity, basically, and he's been like pretty much abused by his father physically a lot as well. So that didn't help much. Him being, I feel like Klaus feels like, and he mentions this a little bit, just a little bit, when he has Michael hemmed up on the wall. He says, there was moments in my childhood where all you had to be was a father. That's it. And then Michael says in return that, and then no. And then Klaus said, why didn't you love me, or something like that. And then Klaus said, I don't know. And then Michael said, I don't know. Michael says, I don't know. Klaus says, why didn't you love me, or something like that. Boom. And I feel like Klaus innately grew up believing that mother and father, you know, they are just things that are they're just people that are just naturally supposed to love you. Those people are supposed to be the place where you can come to and find solace, you know what I mean? Find peace and stuff like that. So that being that image, that image of what a mother and father should be, Klaus's image of what a mother and father should be for everyone, being destroyed at such a young age by Michael, by Esther covering up her infidelity by basically letting Michael beat the crap out of Klaus for all those years growing up. That image was completely destroyed at a young age. Therefore, without that innate belief anymore, he becomes this person of, I only care about me. I'm going to get smarter. I'm going to get better at everything. You feel me? You feel me? I'm going to become this and that and this. He said, I am going to be I'm just going to level up myself. You feel me? To the highest point I can probably level up myself. You know, I'm going to do self-preservation. I'm going to be a survivor. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be intellectually sharp. Period, point blank. With those images destroyed of his parents, of the love that's supposed to be there, he said, forget y'all. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to protect who I deem to be my family. You feel me? And now when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about the Klaus that is like, let's see. Later on in the series, you feel me? The one that we see in the originals, the one that we see in freaking TVD, you know what I mean? I'm talking about that Klaus now, you feel me? The one who has like 1,000 years under his belt of being intellect and growing his intellect and stuff like that, you feel me? What do you mean by protecting his quote-unquote family, his quote-unquote immediate family? What do you mean by protecting them? He literally had them in boxes, daggered. You feel me? He deems protecting them as in keeping them close. As long as I feel immortal, you feel me? Y'all are immortal, but I know for a fact y'all not as immortal as I am. Period, point blank. You feel me? And I want you guys to, whether it's in the coffin, whether you're alive walking around, I don't want you to go into another city or nothing, but whether it's in the coffin or just in the same city as I am, you feel me, or a town that I am in, I want you guys to be around, you feel me? And another thing that he found in Rebecca, or he found in Finn. Finn was so boring that he wouldn't probably watch this. What I'm about to break it down to how you. I'm about to break it down to how he sees his siblings. Rebecca, she loves, you feel me, too hard and too easily sometimes, you know. So that can probably be a weakness that we just don't need. You feel me? That we just don't need. But she's an original. What are you talking about? Klaus knows, and Klaus treats his family like someday they will die. That's his whole, not even fixed point, but his whole mentality, really. You feel me? One of his, like, real big things is that he never wants to be alone. Period, point blank. No matter how, oh my God, I'm this, I'm a hybrid, I'm this or that. He never wants to be alone. He believes that at the end of all of this world stuff, at the end of all of this evil and silence and that he is going to be the only person on Earth alive. He's going to be somewhere flying in space, going towards the sun, you know? That's how he genuinely believes. That's how he genuinely feels. And so, going back to his family, he believes that Elijah is cool. Elijah with him. Elijah rocking with bro. Finn, he's so boring to the point where he probably didn't learn how to defend himself, or maybe he did. Who knows? You feel me? But he can still get caught up. You feel me? Finn can get caught up. Cole, you bring a lot of attention with your feeding habits. So those two have to go into a box. Rebecca, you love too easy. Gotta go to a box. I'm protecting you from yourself. That's how he feels about his siblings, although he loves them to death. He loves them to death, but he keeps them in boxes. He keeps them around, close proximity, to the point where if I keep you guys around, you feel me, then we're going to be straight because you by me. You feel me? You by me. I really can't die. You feel me? You're by me. We're good. We're good. We're good. Although they can all die to like the same thing, but he feels like he really gotta, you feel me? That's his immediate family. And so he amped up his intellect and he amped up his diabolical nature. So somebody want to cross us over? Okay, cool. I'm murking you and murking the rest of your entire lineage. You know what I mean? And that's just how he rolls. You feel me? That's the way he feels to handle their enemies. Murk them, murk their entire lineage, keep it pushing. Type John. And that's just how it is. Now, by season 5, he realizes that, he doesn't realize this by season 5, but he knows this by now. You feel me? He says, doing stuff like that led to a person feeling shame. So he would do stuff like that and like probably leave like one person alive. Probably leave like 2 people alive. You know what I mean? And so him doing that gave the people that he would leave alive after massacring their entire freaking chicken nuggets, that he would leave alive, he gave them shame. So how do a person go about getting unashamed of themselves? They seek out revenge. They go on their revenge journey, and it's always to get KlausMikaelson, to get Rebecca or Elijah, or just like harm that family, you know? And you're doing it to vampires, you know what I mean? Or people who probably turned into vampires after the situation that you put them in. After they tried to screw up your family or do something that you didn't like, you feel me? That type John. Man. So, that's the whole controlling nature of Michael. You know, we have to, you know, I'm trying to keep everyone safe. I'm trying to do this. You know what I mean? As long as you guys fit in my perception of how I see you guys, you guys get to walk around like Elijah. You feel me? If you do not, you get to be in a coffin like Finn. You know what I mean? But that's it. Let's see. Going further into his stuff. Let's see. I usually talk about the relationships between characters, you know. Klaus and Marcel. Okay. Klaus. You feel me? Klaus. Klaus heads to New Orleans, you know. Heads to New Orleans. Heads to the Americas in general. You feel me? Heads to the Americas in general. And then he comes across this little kid, boom, boom, boom. They kick it off, you feel me? The kid grows up. Well, the original family moves away. The kid is a vamp at this time. He didn't die. And he takes over. He takes over. Just nothing, no quid pro quo, nothing. He just takes over. And then, how do I feel? I feel like Marcel tried to give Klaus a lot of chances. As in, what do you mean by that? I mean, more so when he came back. So when Marcel was growing up with Klaus, you feel me? They would go back and forth. They would chill, you feel me? But then Rebecca would get in the way and completely just mind boggle their relationship. Marcel said, Klaus says, she's my family. Marcel says, I thought I was your family. I thought I was family. You feel me? That type of verbiage, you feel me, throws Marcel off a little bit in a way where he had a father, you feel me, who completely disconnected with him unless the father was beating on Marcel, you feel me? So it's like, am I your family, or am I just somebody that you can just overpower 24/7? Am I just somebody that you can display and be like, this is my freaking charity case, you know? Are we not really like locked in? You feel me? Because we really locked in and I'm a good dude and your sister over here and she apparently is awesome as well, and you love her, you love me, then what's up? You know? That's how he feels. So that whole situation, let's keep that situation right here. Let's go to the future when Klaus comes back to New Orleans. He comes back to New Orleans, and Marcel, throughout the seasons, get close with Klaus again. You feel me? Klaus, the family, whatever. And he's constantly placed in these situations where, like, the family keeps, like, being weird to him. Like, you're close, but you're not family close. You know what I mean? That's pretty weird. Me, personally, I always hated Davina. So it's like, I didn't care when Klaus did whatever to Davina, you feel me? And Marcel felt some type of way, whatever. You know me? But we locked in, bro. Let's get back to Klaus, because, bro, that relationship is so complex. Oh, my gosh. I feel like after a while, Marcel just said, forget it, bro. I'm just going to try to build up myself and build up, you feel me, my own thing out of respect for myself and just leave you guys out of it. I'm done putting my faith in you guys. You guys just want to demonstrate power over me, and I'm good. I'm good with that, bro. I'm over it, bro. I'm up. You feel me? So he kind of did the same thing as Klaus. You feel me? The parents disappointed Klaus, and Klaus said, forget it. I'm just going to up my intellect, up my power, and just go like these. You feel me? Just like that. Let's get back to Klaus. Klaus and Hayley. Ooh. Both screwed over by their parents. Hayley was screwed over by her adoptive parents. You feel me? But I feel like Klaus didn't want to let Hayley down. At first, it was about, okay, cool, I just want the kid to be alive, you know? The baby mama looked fine. She looks beautiful, you feel me? Hayley looks beautiful. Sure, a nice face, easy on the eyes, you know? But I just want the kid to be fine. That's what Klaus's whole thing in season 1, season 2 is about. Season 1, season 2. whatever. So we get further into it, and now it's more so I'm happy. I'm happy Hayley around. I mess with Hayley. I'm happy you feel me? She John, you feel me? I'm happy she around, you feel me? She cool people for real, for real. We relate on like a deeper, isolated, cold, alone type of wavelength, you know? We meet there. And I feel like us relating on this type of wavelength means that if we both know how the world is and how harsh it can be and how harsh it was on us, then we both want to be better for hope, you know? And I feel like that's how they communicated. And I feel like that was just awesome. It was awesome. It was so awesome. Anyways, let's go deeper. His relationship with Rebecca. A lot of people love Rebecca. And yes, Rebecca is better than Elena. 1,000,000,000 times percent, 100 billion times, you know? But the issue becomes is when she chooses to freak over anybody in her family just to achieve happiness. Self-preservation is so alive and well within the originals. You feel me? It's just wild. It's absolutely wild. But anyways, she calls Michael. No, I'm going to the jump. She calls him. I don't care how many times Klaus killed her boyfriends. You feel me? First off, the people that she fell in love with were... She herself is a liability because she doesn't want to partake in Klaus's business when we get to the quarter. But she would like to date, you feel me? Well, she actually dates, you feel me, the governor's son or something like that. Or stepson, or I think it was son, the governor's son. Mind you, Klaus has business with the governor and the human faction and stuff like this and that. He's trying to, you feel me, make an empire for his fam. You want to date the son of the governor, but then you don't want to participate or do plans with Klaus to help build this empire. You just want to dance to the parties. You just want to, you feel me, do the partying and do this and do that. You know what I mean? How you going to want to be in it but not want to be in it for real? How you going to want to... He got the governor, Klaus got the governor's son right up out that joint. Wow! You feel me? Fell like 3 stories. Anyways, whatever. 3 stories is crazy. But, whatever. That was funny. I don't care how many times Klaus kills the boyfriend of Rebecca. Rebecca, you tried to get Michael to come back and kill your brother. You know how insane... The things people accept today in 2023 is outrageous. So no wonder they would look completely over Rebecca calling their father back to kill her brother. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. That's crazy. We're chilling. You feel me? We're chilling. We're in the finest clothes. We're doing our thug dizzle. We're trying to build an empire that you don't want to even be a part of. I don't know why, but you don't want to be a part of. You feel me? Unless you get to dress up and go to a party or whatever. And then, oh yeah, you can't date Marcel. Why you want to date one of my homeboys? And then, of course, Rebecca's like, man, da da da. Marcel's like, da da da. You feel me? Marcel the one came with the idea of like, bring Michael back. You feel me? So Marcel was really an op from the get-go because no way I'm over here, I'm chilling with you. Feel me? I'm a vent by this point. I'm chilling with you. We kicking it. We shooting the bobos. And then I call your father. No, I convinced your sister to call your father to come take you out. And we, Marcel, Elijah, and the Klaus, we over here really running stuff, really trying to really get it on in this penal colony that we trying to build together, this empire that we trying to build. I see it. Well, technically, Klaus and Elijah was the co-owners. You feel me? But Klaus was ready to set Marcel up to be like the runner-upper once he dipped type John. You feel me? In like a couple hundred years or whatever. Whatever. But, wow. That made me so heated. I ain't gonna lie. That made me so heated. She gets on my nerves. I don't know how... She's so... Just like Dame and just like Elena. Rebecca is overloved and underhated. Overloved, underhated, and overrated. Okay, can I get an amen? Amen. Anyways, and Klaus Michaelson's relationship with Elijah. The Klaus know, in comparison to Elijah, that he is a screw up, that he is a 24/7 job. Do you hear me? And so, with knowing that, he would never like 100% disrespect, like 100%, full blown say the worst thing of the worst to Elijah, because without Elijah, Klaus falls apart mentally. You know what I mean? Klaus just will fall apart mentally and cry and slide down the wall somewhere. But he messed with Elijah. You feel me? Like Elijah's the older bro. Elijah's seen it all. He's been with him since day one. You feel me? He's been with the bro since day one, day zero. You feel me? And Klaus and Rebecca's like close too. You feel me? But vampirism, she okay, whatever. But you feel me? The Klaus and Elijah, you feel me? They've been rocking and rolling since day one. They're chilling. The Klaus do his thing, you feel me? Most times, this is why Elijah is cool and be like laid back when the Klaus is planning his things or whatever. Usually they plan together, but he would lay back even if Klaus like go like overboard and start killing people or whatever, because 98%, I'm gonna say 98.8% of Klaus's plans, diabolical plans, you feel me, work. You feel me? Work. 100% of the work. You feel me? And so when he needs Elijah to come through and like help him like brainstorm a little bit, Elijah can cover that other John, that other percentage with ease. With ease. You feel me? So that John hard. That John hard. They hard. You feel me? They hard. What else? And I also just feel like Elijah being around gives off that sibling vibe. Although they are actually siblings, it gives off that real brotherly love that for a long time, you feel me? I said for a long time, Dad. But they was on the outs for a minute. You feel me? And Stephen was there, you feel me? In 1920s, And he had forgot what it, you feel me? He felt like type of brother. Because it's been like 10 years. You know, when they fell out, it was like the 1930s. And he was lying. He had like staked Rebecca, and then he was lying about a letter, And then they fell out. And so, boom. No, I said 1930s. They fell out in the 1930s. And then in the 1920s. Okay, cool. Wait, let me see. Farik. 1910. Okay. Orleans, 1920s. They run overseas. 1920s, Stephen. 1930s, Elijah. 1940s, Okay. Whatever. That's not how it lined up. But still, I mean, let's go into something else, guys, because I talked about their relationship. They have an impeccable relationship. You feel me? I felt super sad for Klaus when Elijah took away his own memories and then became this whole other person who just completely disowned his family. That was a yikes moment, but it's crazy. Who else we're talking about? Who else are we talking about? Who else do we have? Michael. Klaus and Michael. Klaus and Michael. Michael is somebody that he loves only the girls in the family, you know, his daughters. He loved Freya. He can tolerate and be around Finn, period, point blank. You feel me? They can probably like be around each other and just be like cordial, you know. Freya, he loved Freya 100%. Rebecca, he loves Rebecca 100%. Doesn't matter what she does. Do you hear me? Doesn't matter what she does. He loves her 100%. Elijah. You feel me? I feel like in their prime, they could have like reconciled and been chilling, you know? Come to the barbecue, do whatever you want to do. You know, that's the way Michael is with his actual children. Now, when it comes to like, with Cole, he might get a little annoyed with Cole probably, but hey, he's still the dad and he's gonna be like chilling no matter what. Who cares, you know? Anyways, we get to Henrik. He probably loved Henrik, you know? But anyways, we get to, you feel me, Klaus, and it becomes a situation of, I thought it was, let me see. He probably thought he probably thought he made a weak seed. I'm dead and got mad. I thought it was me. But no, yo, my wife has been doing infidelity stuff, adultering and stuff like that. She been out here going crazy. It's wild. Crazy. Wife out here cheating. Michael really showed his reasoning when he said, I don't know. Klaus like, why didn't you love me? He said, I don't know. I just didn't have it in me to love you. Whoa. Whoa. Freya gets taken away from Michael. You feel me? One of his first kids, you know? You feel me? Actually, his first kid, because Finn was still in the... Finn wasn't still in the jaw. Elijah was in the stomach. Finn was out, and Freya was out. Freya Mikaelson is the oldest. Mikaelson. Who's the oldest? Let me see. Okay. Thank you. Because she like refers to Finn as like a younger brother as well. Anyways. So, Freya gets taken by Dahlia. His heart. Do you hear me? His heart. Michael's heart gets taken by Dahlia. You feel me? And then Klaus suggests that Henrik come out and watch the werewolves change. You feel me? The men turn to beast, you know? Henrik gets destroyed, shattered, shredded. You feel me? Okay, cool. Everybody comes out, they boo-hoo and crying. Not everybody, you feel me? We didn't get to get that reveal of everybody's reaction to Henrik's death, but all that happens, Michael loses another child. And Klaus, and he deems Klaus responsible. You feel me? And so how can one be a father to somebody who he thinks is responsible for the death of his child? You know? Freya was taken away. Now Henrik gets taken away by another one of his kids. And then when he find out that Klaus is not one of his kids, now it's like a double whammy. First off, you took away my son Henrik, and then you're not even my son? Oh yeah, you're done. Bow, I'm searching the earth, scorching the earth, you feel me, to find you. So that's the pride situation coming through with Michael. But mind you, Klaus, man, that is a crazy origin story. It's such an unfortunate series of events, you know? That's just how that goes. That's how their relationship is, you feel me? That's what made Michael snap, you feel me? That's not his, I mean, that's kind of his fixed point. Actually, that is his fixed point. Michael's fixed point. We already talked about Klaus' fixed point. I just didn't label it a fixed point, but when his parents destroyed that image of like what he deemed to be what parents should be, you know, what parents should be. When they destroyed that image, that was Niklaus's fixed point. Anyways, who else? Camille. All the little shippers out there are gonna definitely want me to talk about Camille. All the shippers. Camille was cool. Klaus and Camille. I think Klaus acquired Camille's skills for himself because he felt as though he had to say out loud his thoughts. At some point, when you're constantly in this fight or flight mode in life, you feel me? And you think you're so smart, and you think you're so just the stuff, you know? And you have and you have the leisure to do something else, you feel me? Now that you don't have to do flight or fight, then you can sit down, and that's what he did. He ended up getting Camille, and she's now his like freaking therapist person, you know? And he gets to talk about his thoughts and how awesome he is and this and that. And like he gets to talk about why he is irrational, or why he is the way he is, you know? And so say like your closest siblings, Elijah, Rebecca, say you're with them 24/7, but you get mad at them. How are you going to get out why you're mad at them without telling them directly? You get your therapist. You get somebody to write your freaking biography. Type John. You feel me? And you just, yeah. And so you get to talk out every situation of why you're angry at this, why you're angry because of this reason, that reason. I love it. He's hilarious. Their relationship was really awesome though. Camille, Klaus. Camille breaks down him on like a science level. She breaks down his psyche on a science level. And I feel like he respects that because he knows that it's accurate, you know? Although he's so magical and so invincible, he can still be mentally broken down or mentally dissected on a science-based level, you know? And that makes him feel like she knows him, or she knows the real him, you know? And that's all he want to feel. That's definitely all he want to feel. If he's talking to you 24/7 about his siblings or this or that, he's definitely going to want to feel like you know him by this point. So if you can break him down like that in the way that she does, then, oh shoot, okay. You're smart, gang. You're smart. You're a smart human. Anyways, let's talk about his relationship with freaking Cole, you know? He loves Cole, you know? Cole can do whatever he wants, you feel me? As long as he doesn't cause too much attention. Now, if he calls too much attention, you got to go back in the box. But I love you to death. That's his relationship with Cole. Let's talk about his relationship with Finn. He loves Finn to death. But he cannot be around Finn more than 3 seconds because Finn is absolutely mind-boggling, mind-numbingly boring, you know? What are we going to do? Read a book? Actually, Klaus likes reading books. But what are we going to do? Go for a walk? I'm not going for a walk, Finn. I'm not going for a walk. It's not happening. It's not. Anyways, let's talk about his relationship with Freya. It took him time, but I feel like he grew to love Freya. You know what I mean? It's not that natural love. It wasn't that natural love as you would have with like other siblings, like Elijah, Rebecca, whoever else, you know, that's really his siblings or whatever. But Freya, he grew to love Freya. You feel me? She really feel me. I guess. You feel me? That type John. So that's fire. So now and then guess what? And they're more alike than ever. Freya and Klaus are like the exact same person, just different genders, you know? Oh my gosh. That's the funny part about it. So his big sister is really like, is exactly like him. Like they twins or something like that. It's so funny. Let's see who else. His relationship with Henrik was probably fire too. You feel me? Not gonna lie. But you feel me? That was short lived. Bro said that was short lived. Be quiet. You're not funny, bro. His relationship with Hope. Aw, look at all the Hope people in the comments. I was playing. Nobody's gonna be in the comments. But look, Hope. His relationship with Hope is that subconsciously he knew, because of like all the things that he went through as a child, you know, he knew subconsciously that it was gonna rub off on him, either whether he wanted it to or not. He knew that subconsciously she was gonna be broken, and it's not like an object being broken. It's like she's gonna grow up a broken person. You know, that's it. He just knew it, but he tried to limit it. You feel me? By getting out the way. You feel me? As long as he's out the way, he can limit how broken she is. She's the one who, let me reach out. Let me do some magic, reach out to Pops. Let me use some magic. That she walk in, there's like 3 bodies, you feel me, around, and chairs with the hearts ripped out and stuff. He got 2 hearts in his hand. He turned around like, what are you doing here, girl? You feel me? Like, that is so crazy. But yeah, that's the way he tried to love Hope, you know? That's the way that he tried to love Hope. Tried to limit his presence so she can be less broken of a person, you know? Naturally, she was going to be broken, but he tried to limit it, Okay, cool. Repetition is not my forte. Or is my forte, I guess. Dealing with a teenage Hope? Oh, my gosh. Jesus Christ. I couldn't do it. Let's move on to Tyler. His relationship with Tyler was that of... I feel like he wanted to project all the crappy things that... I feel like Klaus wanted to project all the crappy things that his father, Michael, did to him and project it and treat Tyler the exact same way. You feel me? So with the compulsion of like, you can go and you can leave, but just know you're a failure or something like that. It was some crazy compulsion like that. It was wild. But that was so good. It was so good. If he even compelled him. I'm pretty sure he compelled him. That was a pretty prominent scene. Pretty prominent scene. Prominent is crazy. It wasn't. I mean, it kind of was. It actually was. That's just in my world. Everybody know that Klaus sucks at drawing. You can be the biggest Klaus fan in the world. You feel me? I say Klaus is like, wait for a second. Oh yeah, okay, cool. I say that Klaus is very similar to Stefan. You feel me? Which means that I have to know who Klaus is as a person, you know? And I'm still able to say Klaus sucks at drawing. Capital S. Capital S at the end too. But him wanting to draw doesn't come from a place of I have to be like freaking Van Gogh, you know? I don't have to be Van Gogh to draw. I don't want to be Van Gogh. Him wanting to draw has nothing to do with artistry or style or anything. It has more to do with having the free will to create your vision that's in your brain and putting it on a canvas. And guess what? If I can do that on the canvas, I can do that in the real world, you know? That's it. So you can see his drawings throughout the originals. He has this cool drawing, of course, with the vamps and the wolves, you feel me? Over like the city and stuff like that, the red and blue in the city landscape. That's cool, you feel me? But his whole, or the drawing of, I want to say Lisette, but I'm not going to say Lisette. But anyways, the drawing of that girl, you feel me? The redhead. Okay, cool. You know, he has a picture of her. That's a cool drawing as well, but it's not really about that. It's about control. You know, it's about the vision, you know. So I feel like that fuels his okay, if I'm that's his inspiration almost. If I can do it here on the canvas, I can do it in the world, you know? If I can do it here on the canvas, I can control the werewolves and give them rings so they can turn or whatever, and they can be my lackeys, you know? If I want them, so they can protect Hope, you know? If I can control on the canvas, I can get Davina and she can become my object. Object is crazy. She can become my secret weapon. If I can do this on the canvas, then I can get Hayley to like have a second kid. No, I'm just playing. Okay, I'm funny for that one. I'm funny. I'm funny. I'm funny. I'm funny for that one. I ain't gonna lie. Funny people don't say they're funny, but I'm funny for that one. I ain't gonna lie. What else? Who else are we? Esther. We could talk. We're gonna talk about Esther. Are we serious? Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Klaus and Esther. Boom. Let Klaus tell it. You see, there's a huge... I'm about to get into them, but let me say something really quickly. There's this huge misconception that when a character say something about another character, you feel me? It becomes fact. You feel me? And what do you mean by that? What are you saying? Just get into what we're talking about here. What I'm talking about is Klaus says that Esther covered up her infidelity. She tried to cover it up, and she suppressed Niklaus and made him weak to cover up her infidelity. Now let's go into Esther. What her mindset would be like. I think she said the reason why she tried to, you feel me, put that thing around him, but I think she like didn't want him to turn or didn't want him to either whoop, you feel me, whatever. Okay, cool. For her mindset, it could probably be, I didn't want my son to have to turn 1 billion times, you know, and at a young age, especially at a young age, and have his bones crack and all this other stuff. So let me put this around his neck. So let me suppress his werewolf side. You feel me? And boom. We're just going to leave it like that. The minute he kills, you feel me, as a vamp, that same necklace goes out the window. That man start turning. That man start turning. You feel me? But that is some crazy-ish. And her secret is revealed at like the ripe old age of like 27. No, I'm dead. Okay, cool. But let me give you another example before we get into the Klaus and Esther situation. Damon constantly comments on like Stefan is pretending this and pretending that. He's not nice. He's just pretending that he's not like everybody else. He's pretending this and pretending that. And as the show go along and you keep hearing these lines, you're taking what Damon's saying and you're turning it into fact. Now it's a fact. Stefan's pretending. Let's not even listen to this guy. Whatever. What's up, Damon? What you got to say? Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. Yeah, he's over here pretending to be human. He doesn't care about Elena. He just wants Catherine. He doesn't care or like Elena. He just likes her because he likes Catherine. You feel me? He wants Catherine back. Whole time. Damon wants Catherine back. Like, it's just like, you know what I mean? So any character that you like automatically can say something about a situation or how they perceive a situation, and the fans or the audience or the fan base will automatically take their perception of a situation, which turns out to most 9 times out of 10 not be true, not be the accurate story. You feel me? They take that perception, they turn it into fact. So now the whole fandom perceives everything Stefan does is fake, or now the whole fandom believes everything Esther does is like self-preservation because she didn't want to get caught cheating. Now, you feel me? We can't take that out the running, but we always can be like, at least it's not fact, you know? Like, that's literally your perception of what happened. Okay, cool. Type, John. Type, John. Anyways, let's get into Esther and let's get into Klaus. Klaus was chilling. Esther always cared a lot about all her kids, but cared a lot about, you feel me, Klaus, you feel me? Watched over him a little bit, you feel me, a little bit more. Put the necklace on him, da. You feel me? Held back Michael from like beating the crap out of him in public, da. Klaus felt as though she did everything for self-preservation. And so his hatred that he got from Michael, all the hatred stored in him that he got from Michael, projected onto him by Michael, was unleashed onto Esther, because he hates me because of what you did. You cheated. I didn't cheat on nobody. I was just born. And he hates me, gang. Whole time, we already got down packed. You feel me? Michael's fixed point. His fixed point is that you accidentally got Henrik killed. Mind you wasn't even dude who killed him, but you accidentally got Henrik killed. You feel me? Michael probably killed the dude who killed Henrik by going over to that village. But then again, that would suggest that there was only one werewolf pack. And it wasn't one werewolf pack. There was like 7. Anyways. Yeah. So he has a lot of like, he wants her to own up. You feel me? I feel like that would definitely do it for him. He would still hate her. You feel me? But he wants her to at least admit that, you feel me? Come on now. Come on, bro. You cheated, gang. Come on, you cheated, gang. You feel me? Come on. Come on, say you cheated and we can keep it pushing. But you can't even say you cheated. You just want to harp on about us being vampires and how we got to become human again. Like, you cheated. Now this old dude hates my guts. You feel me? That's how, this is Klaus's perspective. Anyways, did we cover everybody in all his relationships? We could do like Klaus's relationship with Joshua. With Josh. It's really Josh, whatever. I said Josh. I'm dead. With Josh. With Joshua. We can do that. His relationship with Josh was hilarious. That's what it was. That was hilarious. His relationship with Davina, I hate Davina guts. I don't care what. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm saying I don't care what anybody say, because I just don't. So I don't need to even verbally say that. But I hate Davina guts, so it's like Klaus is always correct. You feel me? In that stance. Let's see. With Vincent is a vampire hater. For him to be like the second black dude on the show, on the original show ever. No, I was playing. They had a lot of black people on there. But for Vincent to be like the second black dude on the original show ever, come on, gang. Let's not be vampire haters. You feel me? I know I love vampires. I know you like witches. I know you are a witch. You feel me? But the Tremaine, the Tremaine witch faction. You feel me? But come on, gang. You feel me? Come on. Let's not. You feel me? Let's chill. Let's see what the originals can do for us. You know what I mean? But anyways, they had a little like bark and bark type of situation, you know, going on. Him and Klaus, whatever. And I think that's literally everybody, not everybody in the show, but yeah. Him and Dahlia's relationship was top notch. And Klaus and Dahlia, their relationship was top notch. I loved every minute of it. Until, of course, we gotta take Dahlia out. Took her clean out that joint, but I loved you, Auntie WW head. Anyways, guys, we're about to get up out of here. That was my reaction to KlausMikaelson, the Great Evil. Is this the better reaction? Me personally, I went into a deep dive mode, so we can both watch the reaction together, but the deep dive is really the meat of the sandwich. You feel me? So get your meat, get your mayonnaise, put it on the sandwich, and we have the review portion. Type John. We better get out of here, dreamers. We better get out of here, dreamers. Deuces.
Falling, dreaming.